Good afternoon, Miss Crystal. I really appreciate you sitting down with me this afternoon. Tell me, what is what is the name of your company?
It's Classic Creations, or Classy meets creativity.
Mixed creativity.
hmm
Explain that. What's creative about your company?
Well, I like to think that I'm a pretty classy female, and with my expertise and my ideal and eye for fashion
Hmm.
and designing and implementations, I add my own creative touch and
Okay.
make everybody's event a reality.
So, in that aspect, what is the mission of your company?
Well, the mission of my company is to ensure that every detail of a client's event is carried out, no matter how big or small, while ensuring that the event is as stress free as possible for each client.
That's understandable. So, you know, what I guess how long have you been in business for you to actually ensure that your event is stress free for your clients?
Well, I've actually been in business for 4 years, but the actual plan started with me doing simple events for friends and families over the years prior to the start of the company. And that actually, landed me wanting to do it full time.
So you would say that that is what that's why you decided to start your actual company.
It is, and in doing so, I realized that I really had a great love for design implementation.
So I mean, a lot of businesses, they have some type of impact on the community. How's that helping your community?
Well, at my local church, whenever we have events, I would like to say that I help the community because I do events for the church and local churches as well. And instead of charging full event, my way of giving back is, you know, providing that charity and doing it for nonprofit.
So you would say you provide a service to actual nonprofit organizations.
Exactly.
That's how you help in the community.
hmm
So what has made you successful for these 4 years?
Well, first you have to be able to build rapport with your clients. Upon building rapport with your clients, you have to ensure that you can make their dream and vision a reality. In doing so, I handle everything with a spirit of excellence and ensure that their dreams become a reality.
It's the spirit of excellence. Explain that concept to me.
Well, I'm very meticulous.
Okay.
I like to ensure that every detail is carried out to plan. And
Okay.
in doing so, you can't do that by half stepping. You have to ensure that everything is put in its place so that their dream can actually become a reality, as I said before.
That's a nice motto.
Thank you.
It is. So tell me a little bit about I mean, you've been in business 4 years, so I mean, it's fairly new, right?
Yes.
So what steps did you have to take in order for your company to actually for you to start your company actually?
Well, I had to first start by creating a business plan.
Okay.
Upon creating the business plan, I had to see what my competition was, what I can bring to the table that was different from all the rest, and how to go about marketing myself and actually gathering clients and obtaining that business and retaining clients and getting repeat customers for anniversaries, birthdays, parties, weddings, etc.
So I mean, I know we didn't cover it before. It what exactly do your company specialize in?
We specialize in events large and small, whether it's a wedding, an anniversary, retirement party, or just a simple toddler birthday party that someone wants to create large, huge memories.
So any activities, any events up under that whole spectrum, you actually do. Is that right?
Exactly.
Oh, nice. So what's the process of you attaining services like, or how do you get your business? Like, what type of how do you get your events?
Well, one of the biggest things, I like to use the old fashioned way, word of mouth.
Okay.
Someone's always talking about something. When people see something they like, they definitely promote that business. Aside from that, business cards, websites, and social media, it's huge now and has a huge impact on, your business and how you market it.
Okay, so you have a website.
I do.
Oh, nice. Is it something that brings you a lot of business?
It does, actually.
Nice. Okay. So you mentioned earlier about that you um, do work for your church and nonprofit. So how exactly do you handle that business as far as the nonprofits versus businesses that are for profit, or say a family member or someone that wants to do a wedding? what's so special about doing business for a nonprofit?
Well, with nonprofit, usually, they're giving back to the community. They're usually not doing anything to try and make a profit off of it. So with something like that, you don't mind giving back and ensuring that their event is just as good as any other event. And it's just a way of being more charitable.
Now, do you actually, are you biased as far as which nonprofits you help, or you help all nonprofits?
Well, I try to be as diversified as possible. However, I definitely like to make sure that it is in alignment with what I think is fair and something that I would stand by
Okay,
and
it,
support.
that's good practice. Now, what's the latest, event that you have done for a nonprofit?
I recently did a pastoral church banquet
Okay.
for a local church here in the Raleigh area.
Now, explain that concept. What's a pastoral banquet?
Well, actually, what we were doing is celebrating the leadership of the pastor of a church.
Okay.
He was celebrating his 8th anniversary, which was an awesome thing. And, the church actually wanted to get together and let that pastor know just how much they appreciated his services in the community.
That's great. How did it turn out?
It was a very successful event.
That's great. Now, what are some of the challenges that you have faced, starting your business?
Starting the business, not having enough staff to actually help set up was the biggest challenge. It takes a lot of time and effort, and when you only have 2 people, a 3-hour job could take at least 8 hours to do.
So, this is something that you can't do by yourself. It's something that you have to have a staff for.
You definitely have to have a staff.
So, explain that process to me. Like, why do you need a staff to plan an event?
Well, you have to have someone to, some events, clients like centerpieces. The details have to be carried out with a color scheme, the theme of the event, this, that, and, setting tables and putting chair covers on the tables, tying sashes to go on the chairs. You know, all of that takes a lot of work, teamwork.
Really?
So it takes definitely more than one person to get the job done.
I would have never expect, that to, take time.
Oh yeah, linen needs to be ironed, napkins need to be steamed. There's a lot that goes into making the details pop.
So, who picks out the details? Who pick? Does your client actually tell you, the details that they want?
Well, my client usually gives me their vision. I take the vision and I run with it. And once they give me their vision, I do a presentation with them by doing the setting and doing the centerpiece demonstration to see if that's what they want, if they want something changed, or
So you'll be able to, give us a demonstration like of a setting.
I think I could do that.
Okay. So, when you say the client gives you the vision, is it see how to work this? The vision, is it they come in and they say, I just want a wedding and I want the colors to be this, and then you iron out all the details, or they don't have a color in mind and just say that I want this set up this way?
Well, it just depends on the client. You have your modern brides, you have your over-the-top brides. Usually what I like to do is sit and ask, questions, build that rapport to see, what that person actually likes,
Okay.
Get into their personal lifestyle. And from me asking them simple questions about themselves, I'm able to, paint a bigger picture of who they are and what they would like to portray on their wedding day. And once I gather all those details, I ask them a few more questions like, what are your favorite colors, or what are you trying to portray on your wedding day or for this special event? Once I gather every detail, then I begin to pitch different schemes to them if they don't already have one. If they do already have one, they usually have the colors, and I just run with the color scheme they have and build a theme from that.
So I know weddings are normally big deals. Would you say that that is mainly, the main part of your business?
Well, I would like to think that I do a wide array of things, not just weddings.
Okay.
They are definitely high end,
Hmm.
but I cater to everyone, whether it's a wedding, retirement party, toddler birthday party.
That's nice. Toddlers.
Hmm.
So you plan events for toddlers, kids?
Toddlers, yeah,
Really?
I do.
I mean, like little birthday parties.
Little birthday parties, big birthday parties, yes.
Wow, that's interesting. So you mentioned of the hardships and the challenge that you have faced. You said in your business. How has those hardships and challenges, shaped the actual very model or how you do business today?
Well, planning for an event, there's a lot of pressure.
Okay.
And within that pressure, you're either going to grow or you're going to not do so well. I take the hardships, I learn from them to see how I can actually make the job easier. And once I do that, it helps me in the future with ensuring that, I work smarter, not harder.
That's great. So, with today's society, competition means a lot, and I'm sure that in your line of business, event planning, there is a situation where you do face competition. So, on a day-to-day basis, what type of marketing do you do to keep your name out there?
Well, I like to pass out business cards.
Okay.
Being in a store, if I see someone looking for something, building conversation and, just kind of being friendly and interacting with others, you kind of get an idea for